Boom, 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 boom.
Now we're live.
Boom, 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 boom.
I don't know why I'm always like so far behind. Hello and welcome to our stream, everybody. We are, I think, at the full end of Act 1 for our season. Maybe, Keeper?
Yeah.
Ish? Yeah. So the
We're
last
putting a
couple
bow on it. Putting a bow on it tonight.
the last couple episodes have been pretty hard on Rory. A lot of growth, a lot of emotional gut punches, a lot of choices to be made, with severe consequences for everybody, I think.
Oh, we're doing all right. I think maybe with a spot of sleep and some whiskey.
Well,
I'm not sure
if
Twitch is
you-
working.
Is it
Oh.
not?
No, I see us on Twitch. I see my eyes bulging on Twitch a few seconds behind where we are.
All right.
Gonna say I'm in the chat.
Let's see here. I think it might be possibly just a little bit lagged. Elle, are you in the Twitch chat? Oh, there you are.
If
Weird.
any of you humans have arrived already,
Say hello,
I know sometimes
please.
you take a little bit, but yeah, hit us up. Let us know what's up.
Tell us you're here.
Tell us about your day and your feelings. Are you well? I hope so.
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
Aloof
Who
says
will-
sorry chat.
Sam exists.
There we go.
Sam.
There we go. I see a loop puppet in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Think it's working, although I'm gonna hop out because it is making my computer drag.
By all means, we can.
We'll be here.
So yeah, if you are in the chat, I can respond to you as Uncanny Pros. That is me. But I think Elle and Dan are in the chat. And yeah, I'm not going to do a recap because I feel like our characters are going to be doing some recap tonight as they can finally get a second to be like, what is happening? And why do we have to do this? For real.
I mean, ready when you guys are.
Go for it, Mr. Keeper.
My God.
Michael's like, we're cleaning up the bodies. We did leave a body with a bullet straight through her brain.
You know what's really good at cleaning up bodies?
Coca-Cola.
I used to be able to just eject it out of my mouth without even worrying about it.
Now we should add more crimes to the list of things we've done.
That's gonna.
Now, immolation of a corpse ain't really that big of a deal,
I'm
legally
pretty
speaking.
sure-
I like where you're thinking, but it's just gonna draw more attention, and it's gonna be more even weirder death than just a bullet to the head.
Truth.
Fair
And you should listen to Mike. You should listen to Mike, guys. He's
It's
trying
not
to
just
help you out.
destroying evidence. It's not just destroying a body. It's destroying evidence, which is a felony. So let me
What
just
about-
search the body for anything.
Don't worry, we have no
information.
felonies on our record.
Yeah.
Let's just try to keep them down.
Yeah.
So Michael's going to put on gloves, do a search of the body for any sort of information, notes, anything like that.
Yeah, nah.
Doing-
Nah, she was careful.
Does she have an ID on her?
Yeah, it does actually.
She
Several.
had her.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
going to say
Yeah,
different
we're
names, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, figured.
Taking all of them.
Absolutely.
And her phone.
It's a burner, but I'm imagining you're taking it all with you.
Yeah.
Does she have cash?
I'll say there's a few hundred in that there wallet.
All right.
Rory, have money.
But
Not
you can
very
always
much.
you can always use more, right?
I found out recently that I was stealing from the coffee people, and those are people I like. I can steal from the dead woman who I didn't like.
I'm not going to
You
argue
know,
that.
of all of his logic, that's actually pretty sound.
I kind of have a
Good.
tradition of going out and spending a few bucks of somebody I just killed if he's a bad guy.
Tradition. It's not like keeping a memento if you don't actually keep it.
Well, it's not like I'm taking a tow. Just a few hundred.
She's murdered a whole bunch of people. Let's go out and have
Yeah.
a few beers on her account.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds fine.
Not
could use
not
them.
use her credit card though, because that's traceable. But
I make no judgment as to the appropriation of the cash funds of a very unscrupulous actor.
We only judge corpse burning.
Yeah,
Looting, fine.
Corpse burning's pretty judgeable. But speaking of that corpse, do y'all just loot it or what else?
can loot it and leave it there. I don't want to. The more we mess, the more chance we have of leaving some sort of evidence.
Of course.
Leave it where it is. Take all the information we can, and let's
No, I
get out of
can't
here.
move my fingerprints around like I used to, unfortunately. At least not at the moment.
Fortunately, you don't technically exist, so I don't know that they have your fingerprints anywhere.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
at least actually registered at the school now.
You are. You are, in fact, registered at the school. Your fingerprints are not.
I was gonna say I don't think they take student fingerprints. That's pretty specific.
Yeah. Also, it's one of those you know you got your fake IDs, which were enough to get you some fake registration. But anybody who looks really tight and hard at Rory O'Flynn is going to find some holes. Gonna find some gaps there in the old.
I have a feeling the cop that has been keeping an eye on us has already done that.
Yeah, I was not very nice to him last time. We might want to send him like a basket, like a gift basket or something.
It is definitely a fair assumption that he and his department are watching you like a hawk.
People like fruit, right? We can send them fruit.
Right, we were just like maybe an I'm sorry note. Thanks for looking out for us.
Just
Guys, if we send a basket of fruit that says thank you for looking out for us to the cop that's investigating us, someone's going to be like, he's dirty and they're hiding something.
It's also
We'll get
bribing
him to stop
it's also
bothering.
bribing a law enforcement official, which is a felony.
we just send a basket of cookies to the
To the office.
to the office and
The whole
say,
group.
yeah, to the boys in blue.
From your friends.
Listen, if we're gonna have felonies, I'd rather it be that I was being too nice to a cop.
What's wrong with your friends? Winky face emoji. You know who it is.
Let's talk about this on the way down.
Here's some pears.
Let's go check on Thomas.
Yeah, let's check out
Let's
Thomas.
not
Holy shit.
Let's get in the
Rose
car.
did not leave him, period.
Okay,
Especially
yeah,
after
let's
the
do this. Oh god,
Thomas
the
is-
blurriness felt my emotional trauma.
Thomas is pretty quiet. He has a lot to tell you, but he wants to do it in a place less public. So I'm imagining he would request to drive back to either the house or the Haven.
All right, yeah,
No conversation.
yeah. Let's get to one of them. I don't really give a shit which, honestly.
Yeah, and I think on the way, I think Rory and Edith need to have a little bit of a chat.
Mike driving like normal.
He is the best at it.
You are the best at it. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Are you also
It's
good
my
at it?
van.
Used
I don't have a license.
dude has like stunt driver skills. You're not excused.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Rory would be primarily directing a lot of this towards Edith, but everybody could hear if they felt like they needed to weigh in. Edith, I don't think we've really gotten a chance to talk about anything that's been going on. At least not in the sort of detail that I feel like either of us might prefer. Or at least not well. Like, the last time we had a real conversation, I feel like I was in the midst of a full-blown manic breakdown. And I was kind of screaming about eating everyone, and then everything went all to hell, and then we were in my brain, and we haven't really stopped moving since then.
Yeah. It's been a lot. Are you okay? I mean, clearly you're not okay. But are you? I think you're you. I think you're fully you. I don't think. I don't know. There's a piece of you left in that dragon, but
Well, I was going to say that I really think that kind of depends on your framing of the question, on how you might define a person. I got every bit of my memories. I know everything that's up, but I don't think I'm reacting to everything the same. I have slightly less of a rabid craving to eat roasted farm animals, fresh from the field, and I have not been tempted once this whole day to go and swoop up any princesses. I'll tell you that.
were you struggling with that at school?
Well, there weren't no princesses there, were there? Unless, no, well, okay, I know that people use that term, and you are bloody delightful, Edith. I don't know.
Rory, this is serious.
I know. I'm trying to deflect everything with humor again, like I normally do.
And you lied to them, and you could do all that to us. And I don't actually feel good about making you not. But if you try to hurt Rose, I might have to try to kill you. And I don't like that.
Well, I wouldn't right now. I'd like to think that even if things went back to the way that they were, that I wouldn't. I've learned a lot. I think that I've tried to do a better job, but we've been working on a very limited time scale there.
Hey, Rory, Edith, for what it's worth, Roy's going to be a lot more useful to us as a dragon than just as a whatever he is right now.
Thought had crossed my mind.
And he's done us a lot of good. I'm not saying he's earned. I'm not saying he's earned a way, atone for everything he's done, but we don't know what all he's done and what all he's been through. I think I'd be willing to talk to the church and see if we can't figure out a way to make him a drag again and even break the leprechaun's curse. You might need to do some more proving of yourself, Rory, before that happens. But yeah, I'd be willing right now to, if it were up to me, I would let you free of the coin and full power and all that. As far as I understand how it all works.
Thank you, Michael. I'm not going to forget that you said that. There's some problems, though.
If you give up the fact that you're a dragon, you give that up, and you just become this, you're giving up a part of yourself, and you'll regret it. If you lose part of yourself, even something small, it's something you're giving up, and for no good reason.
Yeah, I'd also probably die, which is not a thought that I'd really ever had to reckon with before. Or at least, like, if I was going to die, it was probably because of a giant ballista through my chest instead of, wasting away and getting eaten by maggots.
You're usually dead before the maggots start.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
That's better.
I don't. I mean, since the leprechaun tricked you, I don't think anybody's ever actually asked you what you want. I get the sense that you're used to being used. And Mike, no offense, but that's what you're talking about. You're talking about us using Rory and his power.
Until we defeat Jason, yes. But after that, I look, right now we're all using each other to try and stay alive.
You have no idea how true that is.
If I were to give this back to you willingly, I think everything goes back to normal based on my understanding of this magic. And it is bloody precarious, that understanding. But I think that's how it works. I think all of me would transfer back to the holder of the coin. The fact that that's me right now is what's resulting in all this nonsense. And if we blew it up, that part of me is blown up. And a little bit of magic goes out of the world. And there's only 3 dragons left. And I ain't one of them. And I'm responsible for getting my people one step closer to extinction again for the second time. Not like I was planning on having a clutch anytime soon. Not like there's a lot of options for that sort of thing around here. But it's a for sure thing then. And that's scary. But big but I'm not convinced that anyone's going to be able to undo it. This is old world magic. This is the magic of the Aishi. This is the fair folk. It's not so easily broken, even as something that Jason might wrap his finger around. He might be able to use reality like a yo-yo, but this is the sort of thing that was in the earth when it was written.
Once this is all over, I'd be willing to travel with you to Ireland and see what we can do. I mean, there are some Catholics in Ireland, so I'm pretty sure we can find some connections there.
And if you die, not like I'm saying it's going to happen soon, but
that's a good, real possibility.
Yeah,
for
and
any of us right now.
And if you all die, it's not just sad because you're my friends. It means that it goes somewhere else. And if it goes somewhere else, I've lost any chance I had at that. If Edith goes, if you get yourself killed in one way or another, I'm back in someone else's hands, and they are probably not going to let the power to rain down hellfire on their enemies go. It tends to fall into the grasp of people nearby magic, and those do not tend to be the unambitious.
I don't know if this helps, Rory, but I don't want your coin back.
I don't think I'd consider giving it to you if you did.
Good.
If we have time, I might have a couple of possibilities of people who could take the coin.
Nobody should have Rory's
abuse
coin
it.
but Rory.
Well, but he can't be a dragon if he has the coin back, from what I understand.
Rory?
Oi, Tom.
What's your interest in having the curse removed? What price would you pay?
All the way removed, and I'm all the way everything I was.
At least as such as something can exist in the world as it is.
I mean, that's the best of all possible worlds.
What would you risk?
I was going to say everything, but I think I've seen what risking everything looks like, and I'd risk my life.
If we can get to the end of this road, I have a feeling I might be able to help you out with that. But it won't be without its risks, and it won't be without its potential trade-offs. And it's a decision that once you commit to down the line, I probably am not going to be able to stop halfway.
I'd really like to not be someone's toy again, regardless of what else happens.
Do you know what the dragons were back in the old day, Rory? Did you ever get enough guidance growing up to learn?
We're creatures of the earth. I know that.
It's such a small part of it.
We weren't exactly from the other world, but we were akin to it.
Guardians, Rory, protectors. The hoarding, the scorching, the burning, that's folklore. That's stories passed down through generation in the aftermath of, if I'm being blunt, violence like yours. The whole point of the dragon as immortal, mortal creature was to be a defender, a guardian of this world against threats beyond it, the immune system of the earth. You're all that's left, Rory. You're all that's left that's awake. I don't know where the others are. I don't know what's become of them. I would hesitate to see you destroyed.
Not that I don't believe you, Thomas, but how do you know that?
I know a lot of things I didn't know 2 days ago.
You don't actually sound like you.
No, I suspect I don't.
Are you Thomas?
I'm the guy you took off the island.
Are you sure?
Quite.
If you were to go on
Rose?
another date with Rose, describe your perfect outfit.
I would probably want to throw on that old number that I got last time. You guys thought it was funny. I didn't know what to think, but I thought her reaction was delightful.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
Thomas.
There's so little to laugh about in the world today. So I would do that again if it were me. Unfortunately, folks, Thomas Hemwick is no more. I don't know what I am, but I'm not him. I'm what's left of him and what's left of something else. All mixed up in a little soup of the soul.
So are you part of the demon?
Demon is a strong word, but no, not the succubus. The succubus tried to follow Rory's bargain. Rory told her, as I understand, not to take Thomas, not to take me, not to take the human soul.
I really did try.
It didn't, Rory. There was no human soul in me to take.
What kind of soul was there?
None at
Easy.
all. None at all, Rose. Just a piece of something a lot bigger. A piece of something that the Revenant wanted to tap into to kill Rory. And when it tapped into that source, when it reached across the ether to the hole or whatever was left of it, enough of me came back. And I hate to do this to you guys after all you've done for me, but we need to talk.
Of course.
Yeah, well, that's a bigger deal and perhaps a bit more urgent than figuring out what to do with this little number.
Rory, can I just add real quick? You haven't had a choice in a very long time. And I think you should be the one to make this one. Be a little selfish on it, is what I'm saying. That's all.
Everyone here chose to walk this path. Rory. You have to choose too.
I get that. So yeah, we should get back and find out what the hell's happening with you then.
So you don't have a soul, and you're not Thomas, and you don't know who you are. But you
Soul
are
is
the
a spark of life, Edith. It's what makes mortals in your world what you are. As complex and beautiful as you are, it's ephemeral, indescribable, but quintessentially of this realm. What I've got in me ain't what you got in you.
So what do you want to talk about?
I think it's probably time that you guys were clued in to what's been happening to you and why.
That'd be great.
You can do that.
I don't know it all. Jason was very good at siloing information, but I know some. The implications aren't good. Scratch that. The implications are very not good.
The implications of this stuff are never good, but at least we can know what we're dealing with.
I don't want to understate it, Edith. I know the lot of you think that you've been fighting for duty in Michael's case, for freedom of this awful stuff for you and Rose. And Rari, I know you've been looking for your why, but the stakes are so much higher than that. Jason has a goal he's willing to do anything to accomplish, and he's going to break the world, and he's not going to look back. There is no cavalry here. He's operated undercover. He used the people he used for resources and information as human sacrifices. Only a few people are on his trail. I'm looking at him.
Great. So it's just us. How is nobody else on his trail?
He killed them. It's just you guys came back.
But he keeps getting that chance to do it again, and he keeps not doing it.
Yeah, you haven't outlived your usefulness yet, I suspect.
Well, he's talking about juicing you up, among other things. Waiting until you're a nice, properly braised piece of meat for him to chow down on.
Is he waiting to see if there's side effects from what he did to us on the island?
Not so much side effects as the finish of what he started.
So what did he do to us? What did he put in us?
I'll get there. First, pardon my professorial tone, but I have a question for Mike that the rest of you might find illuminating. Mike, If I were to ask you to describe a god with a small g, what would come to mind?
Someone of almost unfathomable power. Something like the old Norse deities or the Greek deities, some powerful otherworldly being that is powerful enough humans worship him.
Very good. And you mentioned the Greek pantheon, the Norse theod, different entities of different stripes that have commanded human fear, loyalty, and praise throughout the history of your species. And indeed, since your world evolved from being a spinning, burning ball of rock. I'm here to tell you that there's so much more than you even know. You know of creatures, entities, beings interested in humanity for whatever end, and their motivations differ, and their attitudes towards mortals differ, and their attitude towards the destiny of mortals in your world differ. But beyond that, there is an ocean of possibility, a sea of diversity of beings you can't even fathom, both in power, in scope, in type, who the very weight of their gaze, if it pierced the horizon between your worlds, would crush this reality flat like a pancake, take what is expressed in 3 dimensions and turn it into something else. And that makes us small, you understand. It makes mortals in this realm transient. It makes this universe finite. And it makes its destiny, either your destiny, I'm hoping for the lot of you, a comfortable death of old age, surrounded by your loved ones, or the heat death of the universe. But it makes the destiny of this universe, of this realm, inevitable. And that's the reality that Jason finds so abominable.
He just doesn't want to die.
I suspect it's more selfish than that, Edith.
Has he never read a book?
Think of the humility with which you all see the world. Look at the simple bravery of Rose, who understands the stakes and the dangers of every conflict she participates in, but steps up anyway. Heart as big as anything, takes the risk, takes the plunge, and is okay with what comes with failure as long as she tries. Jason is not the same kind of person. Think about what he can do. I encourage the lot of you. Think about what such a prodigal command of magic has allowed him to do, the type of power it affords him, how he can manipulate reality like a puppet master, how he can fold the laws of physics like origami and create something truly spectacular.
He talked about a next level of evolution. Is he trying to make it this possible for everybody?
I think he's trying to liberate our realm and your species from inevitability, Edith.
He sounded like he was frightened by what he discovered, the powers beyond our normal knowledge, and he wanted to make the Earth less vulnerable. Make us
Yes,
all
he
more
does.
powerful.
He does want to make the world less vulnerable. But his philosophy centers around offense being a good defense.
And burning through hundreds of people in order to get that offense.
I'm not defending his actions or his beliefs, just trying to understand them better.
No, and Michael, you understand them. I am the product of Jason's first attempt to fight back. He kidnapped Thomas Hemwick off the streets of Weldport, a young man nobody would miss. He used the blood and the pain and the fear of over 100 misguided cultists on that island to rip open the horizon between worlds using dearly departed Miss Allegra's unfathomably complex summoning magic to try to call something truly massive and truly ancient through, so that he may understand godhood better, so that he may look at that which is ancient and eldritch and unknowable and take it apart with his mind and his skill. But he was arrogant, had not factored in the consequences of his limited power, small size, the transient nature of his life force, and the transient nature of Thomas Hemwick's life force. What he called out, he could not fit through the hole he tore. So he killed more and more. And he established a pipeline over days of innocent victims from the city until he had finally conjured a mystical scalpel strong enough to shear off a piece of what he had reached out and grabbed. And he shoved that piece into me. And Thomas Hemwick and all that Thomas Hemwick was shattered by the experience of something so tremendous being bound in his body by magic that strong. He broke apart. His mind no longer exists. His soul is in pieces. And I stitched him back together. Me, a piece of something old and the dregs of something young stitched together into something new.
So are you the physical
Go ahead, Edith.
mental manifestation of the Hand of Fate?
No, this is a weapon. After all, not getting the full avatar of whatever the heck it was that I am put a damper in Jason's plans, and he pivoted.
So you're a
And pulled
piece
the
of a
colors.
god with a magical weapon from the Fae grafted onto your elbow.
The Fae call me many things.
Right?
Go ahead.
King, Lord, Death, the End, the Old One.
Is that what they call the Hand of Fate, or
The Hand of Fate is merely His Highness reclaiming what he was giving out so freely. I'm the original owner.
you, as in you're talking because you're a sliver of some otherworldly being? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Metaphorically, I'm. Oh, my. Metaphorically, I think I'm like this thing's pinky. Just one, not both. But when I tapped into what I am, or when the Revenant tapped into what I am to fight and kill Rory, you wouldn't believe the power.
So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to stop what comes next.
Why?
Why? Why would I want? You're asking me why would I want to stop?
You're not one of us. You're not human. You're not of this world. You're not even whole.
But I live here. And I care about you.
Why?
When I was imprisoned and in pain in a mystical science experiment for a madman and his cronies, a group of vulnerable people freed me from that place. And they took care of me. And they showed me kindness. And they worried about my happiness. and they live here, and they love here, and they grow here, I won't see this destroyed. This beautiful thing, this beautiful little corner of the multiverse, magnificent in a trillion ways, with the most unique, fragile beings ever spawned by creation. Walking, living, breathing, defiant cries against cosmicism and inevitability. You're not worth the risk, Edith. This is not worth the risk.
How do we know you're not lying?
You don't. You can't. You can trust me. I can earn that trust by trying to make amends for the sins of my other self. I have a couple apologies I can make for him. If
I don't think you owe anyone apologies for things that you ain't. Well, I mean, you're whatever else you got going on, or whatever you are or are not a piece of. You're not that whole anymore, and you're not. You might not be Tom, but you're not Tom. You know, you're a new thing. You're a new guy. You're a new thing going on, and that's okay.
I'm the only Tom you've ever met.
Oi, you're regular Tom.
We can still call you Tom, right? Or do you want a new name?
No, my name is Thomas, and I'm a man. I'm just more.
Well, okay, we got a lot of information now that we can work with.
It's gonna be fine.
How is it going to be fine?
Oh, he ain't gonna blow anybody up. He's not a bad guy.
It's gonna be fine because I needed to just be fine. So
Of everything we have going on, this is so far down the list of problems. It's like the grass need to be mowed. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, it's going to get larger, and it's going to get larger quickly.
yeah, I'm kind of with Edith on that it's on a bigger scale than like the lawn, but maybe it can be something we work on as a group.
I mean, I think it's a pretty big deal, but like maybe in a good way.
Yeah.
It's my fault that you were taken to the island, and I'm sorry.
How is it your
Did you
fault?
even exist at that point, really, though?
No, but I knew you.
How?
I knew you, Mike, because you've hunted me. I knew you, Rari, because I used you. And I knew you, Edith, because I knew your sister.
How?
Whose realm do you think she got taken to, Edith?
The king has been making deals with us.
I suspect he's another piece. I don't think he's the whole thing. He seems like debris. Highly motivated to rejoin the whole, but very powerful. I have memories of Tess, Edith. And I knew Rari existed, and I knew that the coin was the key because I have memories of giving it to her.
So you helped her get out.
Yes, ultimately, I did help her get out.
How did you know Rose?
When I came for Edith, Rose Rose stood in our way.
Me? That doesn't sound super right.
You didn't let them take her.
I mean, I probably would have fought against it because who would pay the bills?
You did. Impressively. Desperately.
Sounds like you to me.
Fair enough, you know.
Yep.
Okay.
You weren't the target, but you became the catch. You were powerful people with great destiny that I knew from my other life. And Jason wanted to use you for what came next.
Which other life? As Thomas Hemwick or as the other entity?
The other entity.
Does that entity have a name just to make conversation easier?
Yeah, many. You can call him the Shattered King.
I was going to go with Irregular Tom, but Shattered King works just fine.
I think a regular Tom is charming.
You said you used me. Now, was that in like sort of a broad like part of the unstable madness and magic of the universe type thing, or are we talking a bit more direct?
Rory, if he had your coin before I had it,
Why
Reality,
do I not remember that?
reality works different over there, Rory. Over there, what's mystical rules. Over there, there's no man to you at all, just the dragon.
when my sister came back, Rory, she couldn't put into words what it was like. There was no language. It was just pain.
What happened to your sister was a travesty.
It's not the same. And I mean, we were there for just a minute and we were changing that whole thing with just what we thought.
Now imagine a will and a mind and an imagination so unfathomably greater than your own that it can't really be put to your English. Think of the power such an individual would have there.
Okay, so all of this to say we just have to kill. You have to kill Jason. And this is all done.
I would say Jason's pet is probably the more prominent target.
You mean the thing that he tried to pull over? But you are the thing that he tried to pull over and he only got a piece and that's it, right?
That was the initial plan, to bring me over and figure out a way to weaponize me. But there was another step, and that's what makes this urgent.
Okay. What's that step?
Jason's whole life was spent operating under one central thesis, that when he tore open the gates of the heavens, he would find the throne of God empty. Instead, he found it saturated. Thousands upon thousands of beings that he would call godlike, small g, with no capacity through human understanding to cut through them, to understand them, to know them, to see what comes beyond them, to even differentiate malevolent from benevolent to uncaring. And he saw the end of his universe and the obsolescence and inevitability of the end of his species. And he decided to thin the herd.
The
If
herd
the
of
throne
God?
couldn't be empty when he found it, well, he would just kill everything above humanity on the multiversal food chain.
He
What?
can't be that powerful.
How?
He's
He's
not.
a guy.
His plan is clever, though. It might work.
So we just have to kill him.
He created something, Edith, there on the island, when he had to pivot, when I became his greatest failure.
The thing that we let get away?
Yeah.
Thing like the other jar?
Have any of you ever taken biology?
Yep.
We've seen some organisms.
How does somebody get sick, Rose?
Transfer a virus, usually.
What is a virus?
An infection. To be totally fair, I'm a lit major. If you keep asking questions, I'm not going to know the answer.
It's an organism.
Correct. I mean,
It
you're both right.
He created a disease to infect the gods.
He pulled a piece of a god out of the ether, and then using his own prodigious magical talent and the prodigious magical talents of everybody around him, he created something that could hurt me, something that could attack me at my fundamental level. And my fundamental level is something that warps reality with my very presence. Now imagine how you test such a weapon. Well, you'd start by doing it on your own people, right? Corpses, cadavers. But turns out when you put something like that in corpses and cadavers, it alters them and turns them into horrific zombie monsters.
Oh my god, the things from the island.
Yeah.
Squeaky meat pan.
What's the next step? How do you make a virus stronger?
Ask Chinese scientists.
You iterate it.
Yeah.
You iterate it over and over again.
So he selectively bred it
Mm-hmm.
to get the traits he wanted.
And where did he put them until they were ready to be used on me, on the pieces he hacked off of me? You can only keep such an organism alive in living things, right?
We're the hosts.
He took you and others like you. He infected you with something that subsumed your entire personality, made you obedient, willing slaves serving one goal: to replicate, to obtain for him the knowledge he needed to replicate you.
But why are we okay now? Because we died and came back?
You were the final iteration of the experiment, the four of you. Edith, your fate touched. Through your sister, through the coin you've been carrying. Your sample helped evolve an organism that could attack that type of being. Rose, you have a powerful supernatural sensitivity, far greater than your average mortal or human. Your sample had its transmissibility altered incredibly in line with your ability to perceive that which is beyond this reality. Rari, you're so powerful. Your sample grew strong. Mike, you're so resilient and faithful. Yours is the type of internal fortitude that overcomes things like that on a metaphysical level. Your sample grew to resist that type of scourge. And then he ripped them from you, killed you, and put them in me. Divided us again. And one of us walked out the island as an amnesiac shell of something hewn and ragged. And the other half walked out a plague carrier for a virus that I was supposed to carry beyond this world into all the realms that go beyond.
Wait a minute. It's a carrier? It's out there infecting people?
Can't affect humans. You're too small.
It wasn't designed to
Resonate on the
affect
same
humans.
wavelength.
It was designed to affect otherworldly beings.
You're still carrying it, Edith. It just can't hurt you. You don't resonate on that wavelength, I guess, would be how I would describe it.
Humans weren't the target.
But rest assured, that thing and Jason are after the other piece of me. uniting enough of them to create a link back to the whole where it will incubate and grow and mutate in the essence of a Fey god. And then will carry its pestilence with single-minded force out into creation itself at large.
So we just have to find it first.
A giant homunculus can't be hiding in the city. Why haven't we heard anything about it?
It was a giant homunculus when it left the island, Edith, when it was confused, when it was newly created.
Is it as aware as you are now?
Almost certainly, even more so.
Basically another person, but worse.
But it doesn't look like a person. Where is it?
It looks like a person now, I'm certain. It can camouflage itself. It's a power I possess. It's a power Rory possessed. It's of the Fae. Glamour,
Boy.
it's what we do.
You can change
Easiest
your-
trick in the book.
Do you know how long it will be before its disease is ready to be unleashed on the universe?
I actually think a matter of days ago, he had no way of finishing his master plan. Not after you guys blew the island up. But the Revenant made contact. The Revenant connected me with my origin point. And it wants me back. But more than that, it's going to start reaching into this world to gather the pieces of itself it lost. And that's going to give Jason and his creation a very, very fine opportunity. And I'm telling you, where Jason is misguided, and I can tell you this very confidently, is that he thinks that this realm will be spared the kind of primordial and cosmic chaos of an arcane and eldritch genocide.
I mean, I was just going to say, do we really need to save the Cthulhu gods? Can they just die?
Oh, no, Edith, you don't. It's not just that sort of thing. Like,
No, I mean, clearly there will be ripples. I get that.
well, not. There's a thing in between too, like stuff like me.
Right.
But you had the virus and you're fine.
Boy,
You just need to
because
find
I
some-
died and got put back in a meat suit. That they can't all do that.
Are you so certain, a lot of you, that your world, your reality isn't just the dream of some sleeping or dead god?
That is not helpful.
I am, but
That's so,
It's-
theoretical. It's a lot
there's
to
also innocent life out there, at least.
Are you willing to bet your existence on theory?
That's not theory for me, but I'm also
No.
want to save other lives.
So we just got to find your other part, deal with it before Jason does, and then take out Jason.
It's not his other part. It's the entity. It's
Right, the plague part, the dangerous part.
I've been referring to him in my head as the plague bearer.
Perfect. The plague bearer. We find him, deal with Jason. Edith gets to do finals. We'll be fine.
there's also now. Who's you said the plague bearer is searching for you?
I think the plague bearer is probably searching for all of us.
We haven't really been hiding.
Does
Yeah,
it
we're
not
not sure
know
that's
who
right.
was there?
Its memories are probably like mine, ill-formed, scattered. I would imagine whereas I was a remnant, basically an amnesiac person, I would imagine it, especially given its nature and its single driving directive, is something like a toddler, ferociously hungry, starving, insatiable.
Okay, what is it starving for?
Yeah, what would he?
Drugs?
Well, probably most hungry for me, people like me, and the powerful magic that brought it into existence.
So what
Are
if
there
we
other
called
people like
something?
you?
What if we called something bad into the cage that we have at the
Oh,
fort?
yeah, like an all-you-can-eat kind of thing.
To answer your question, Mike, they called me Subject Zero on the island. There were a lot of subjects.
But all the other ones are destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Except for
Where do you
us.
think their remnants went? With their creators, Jason's posse, their magic, their own goals for seeing Jason's fulfilled, the great leaps forward in arcane knowledge they hope to effectuate. They took pieces off of that island, pieces that ultimately made them a target. Why do you think Jason had no problem with us blowing the back of the head out of one of his erstwhile allies?
Oh, okay. All right. Quick question. Number one goal for me in all of this has not changed. I
course.
plan on killing the bastard. But that sounds like, the other thing is going to keep going regardless of if Jason is still around or not.
It's a watch that Jason set in motion. All that I suspect our mage adversary wants to do now is watch and wait before the world burns.
Now, yes, I still think we should absolutely kill Jason because, even if we manage to stop this other beastie,
I would
there's
love
nothing
to
keeping him from trying again.
Oh,
trying again with all the research and knowledge he's earned through this endeavor at that.
Okay, so definitely, absolutely gonna kill the absolute shit out of Jason. And
I
we
endorse this plan.
And we got to figure out how to kill a you, which so far we've been terribly unsuccessful at it. Not that we've tried that many times, but you've definitely been blown up at least once.
Yeah, I'm not strictly mortal, I don't think.
No, not by any means that I could recognize.
So can you kill other you?
Yeah, how do you kill the plague?
With my power, with this, oh yeah, I can kill him.
Not to mention, other supernatural things could still affect it. You did get sucked out by a bloody demon.
If we kill the plague bearer, won't Jason know that rather quickly?
Immediately, they're linked.
And he'll come to find us because he will be there.
So either way, we got to deal with Jason in whatever order we're doing it.
Part of what the virus needs to grow and expand is magic. It's part of what he's been feeding it. I have to imagine his own is not sufficient anymore.
Can we just trap it and keep it isolated for a while till we have a chance to kill Jason?
We can give it a shot.
That's smart versus just killing it and then killing him.
Don't underestimate how dangerous this thing might be. What you saw on the island were the failed knockoff prototypes of what this thing eventually became. Okay. You've leveled up, gang.
All right, so we won in the manuscripts before. That seems like still the best possible way that we could, map out some sort of battle plan.
I've been thinking about that, actually. The manuscripts, the knowledge that he used you to steal that was the genesis of all his experiments. Strikes me that charging into confrontation against the most powerful mage alive and his god-killing eldritch creation is probably not a plan with a high probability of success.
Certainly not a frontal attack, at least.
But as Mike would well know from his own experiences, the more you understand about what you're facing, the more avenues that typically present themselves to defeat it.
I think maybe we can try going after Fred Power, the academic.
He'd be the most vulnerable to a group like you. Not a fighter. Brilliant wizard, though.
Well, now we have you. You can just threaten to blow him up.
Yeah, you're going to stay, right?
Of course I'm going to stay. If you'll have me. I don't want to violate the sanctity of your group as something a little bit different than you thought I was.
You
got a bloody apartment. Come on now.
We don't have a choice.
I have to finish this. I can't let him use my father to do that. And if I don't reclaim at least more of my power, I don't know how I'll break Rory's curse. But
Now, it's bloody sweetie you thinking about things in like that myopic of a turn when we're talking about reality breaking down and shit. So, thank you, pal. That's real decent of you.
of course, you're my friend.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have to be near home.
No, you're about there.
That's been an hour. I'd like to stretch my legs.
And you now have all the information that was possible for you to have up to this point in the story. That's the dump.
Okay, sorry. And did we go to the safe house or the house? I forgot.
Up to you guys.
That's fair. I assumed the house, but that does not mean that's where we went.
I assume to go back to the Haven since we have a grenade launcher. Probably put that back in the armory.
I mean,
To be totally
you were,
fair, it's a great plan.
driving, or we could just hang out in the house and Rory can have a grenade launcher nearby.
I don't love that.
That
plan.
sounds safe.
I really don't love
That
that.
sounds
plan.
fun.
I do.
We just finished refixing the house. I speak for Kat as well.
Well, right on. So back to the Haven, and do any of you have any last questions or dialogues you wish to exhaust? And I'm imagining the answer to that is yes, if you think about it.
I think
back?
that Rory is going to have a lot of questions, but I think he's just kind of trying to let things settle a little at the moment. That was a lot for both of them.
Sounds good. Edith, any questions?
For Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Edith's been asking a lot of questions.
I will say that if you guys have anything pressing, probably a pretty good idea to ask.
Oh.
Rose.
I mean, if Rose can get Thomas alone for a minute, she would want to.
Well, yeah, let's say she steals him off to the side as you guys enter the Haven.
Yeah.
Hi there. How are you doing? It's been a long few days for you.
No, I'm great. In terms of everything, this actually is the least terrifying news I've gotten.
Well, that certainly doesn't speak well of recent times for you, does it?
Yeah, but like, I mean, all in all, like, you're part of a god, probably, but not one that wants to kill me. And to be fair, 98% of what I've met in the last 2 weeks has wanted to kill me actively.
I don't want to kill you. In fact, I would like to stop things that would try, like, very much if I can, if that opportunity.
I don't know about everybody else, but I really want to stress that I don't want you to go.
I don't want to go. I'm who I was on the island. I just know more than I did then. I had time connected to the whole, and stuff came back.
Well, see, then it's good, because I don't really want to see you like that, you know, in a coma and dying. So I need you to kind of hang out and stay with us.
I'm sorry about all that. I certainly didn't expect that I would be hijacked by a revenant in an assassination mission and run kamikaze towards a dragon. That was an unexpected development.
No, you're good. And I want to apologize because I was with Rory on the succubus being a good plan, and now I figured out that that was a terrible plan, and we will never use a succubus ever again for help.
It wasn't actually that bad of an idea. You just didn't know what was going on inside.
Yeah.
I thought it was clever, actually, kind of artful. And
Well,
Rory made a good deal.
Plan. It was all Rari's plan, and I only told him yes. So give him the credit. I have kind of one more question that's not important in, I guess, the multiverse of things.
Shoot.
But I gotta know, are you still the person who enjoyed going on a gremlin-filled date with me, or the kind of person who doesn't want to keep bothering with that?
How honest are you okay with me being right now?
Super honest.
Rose, I'm in love with you.
Really?
I feel differently than a human would, but those feelings are still there. Those feelings that old amnesiac kid had and developed for you, I've still got them. I think you hung the moon. I need to figure out how I relate to people again, but if I can do that with you, I would be overjoyed.
Well, that's great news, and makes this a much more manageable conquest.
There's something about yourself I think you should know on that front, though.
Shoot.
When amnesiac me was possessed, you were able to momentarily break the Revenant's hold on him. And I know that your instinct for that would probably think that it was some great power of affection or love that enabled you to break through its hold on him to free him momentarily, or vice versa, right?
I mean, I guess.
And that's not far from the truth. But there was more potency to that. Your connection with me had power. When you called out to me, I was able to slip his control, if just for a moment. You gave me the power to do that. You have the ability to connect with people. Your sensitivity to the supernatural affords a level of link far beyond that a normal person could experience. And our bond has real power. And that's something that you need to understand, because I think what happens to me might also happen to you.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I'm not gonna lie that there's definitely more between us than me and most people.
I'm lucky on that front.
Yeah, me too. But we'll figure it out. We'll learn how to use this, right?
If you need me and I'm not there, I think you can call on some of what I am. You've done it once. I felt it. Do it again.
Okay.
Your heart is huge, and it makes you more than what you seem. I look forward to seeing all the places you can go with that. I just want you to be aware that it's a thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna go clear the air with Edith real quick, if that's all right. I don't want us to have to start what we're about to do with her glaring daggers in the back of my head the whole time.
I think you two should talk. I'll be around when you get done.
I'm here to talk or whatever anytime you want. I treasure that.
Cool. I love you too, by the way. I didn't say it because I went into a little bit of shock, but also you should hear it before, anything happens.
I don't take hearing those words lightly. They're a gift. And thank you for allowing me to hear them before whatever comes next.
Cool. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Of course you will. I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Edith.
What?
Well, I mean, that for starters. Are you okay?
No. No, I don't think any of us are okay.
Stupid question, I suppose.
I don't even think you're okay.
No, that's insightful.
But this is where we are, so we just keep going.
I have two things to tell you. I think both are good news.
Okay.
One is your sister's strength and her resilience is absolutely a family trait. What you've come through and how you survived is remarkable. And you should know that she fought hard to get back to you. She never would have survived that place without that motivation. And you're that motivation for plenty of other people. And you have that motivation yourself. And I guess the other piece of good news is if you're worried about me being around, I suspect that that'll be a temporary problem when you get right down to it.
If you're going to go and make Rose fall in love with you, you'd better try to make it not a temporary thing.
I would love nothing more than to stay here forever. I just see what keeps happening to me. And I keep getting reminded in stronger and stronger terms that I'm just a piece of something a lot bigger than me. I don't have any confidence that this doesn't end badly for me. And I want to ask you if I could, if I can't keep my promises to keep Rose safe, to help Rory out,
I'll keep her safe.
I hope that you'll do both.
And I'll help Rory.
You know that you're the one uniquely equipped to do so, right?
Well, I am certainly the one who's available. And sometimes that's all you get.
Edith, you got to get it by now. Available and willing is literally the equation that equals heroism. There's nothing else to it. You never get strong, you never get super powerful, and you never get sure. Every hero throughout history, including the one who briefly stole my hand from me, they do what they have to do. They hate every minute of it. They experience doubt and fear and pain. But what defines them is that they keep going. What defines them is that they recognize that they're after something bigger and more valuable than themselves. And you know that you're capable of doing that. You know that your life means more than grades on the transcript, right?
I would like that to be true.
Well, look around, kid. Look at what you've done. Look where you are.
I'll keep them safe.
Thank you. It means a lot to me. And I'll do my best. And I know you don't think you can trust me, but I will do my best to prove you wrong.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm gonna go talk to Mike. I actually feel like I owe him an apology.
Okay.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Thomas, what's up?
I'm sorry you got sucked into this, man.
It's what I do.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I'm sorry. You were doing great keeping people safe on the streets, and I dragged you into something very, very large.
I'm probably the best equipped human out of all of us to deal with this right now.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
If we have any chance of success, it's because of my training and because of my resources we have right now. So it's probably good you did.
And more than that, man, it's not just your training and your resources, it's your righteousness. You know right and wrong. You know what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. And I trust that when push comes to shove, you'll do the right thing and not the easy thing.
That's what I try to do.
You're good at it. You make it look easy sometimes.
Just keep practicing what you want to do, and eventually it becomes natural.
I need to ask you a favor on that front.
Sure.
If all this goes to pot and that thing gets a crack at me, gets a chance to take me, I will lower my defenses as low as I can take them. And I need you to promise me that you'll make sure that it does not get my power.
You're asking me to kill you?
In a manner of speaking, Mike, kill this body. What I am is infinite. It'll go on existing in some form or capacity. Thomas will be gone, but that is a small price to pay to prevent them from getting what they want. I need you to take the shot. I think you're the only one who will.
Have you thought about what that's going to do to Rose?
It's going to destroy her. The only thing I can imagine that's worse than that is her getting destroyed.
Well, let's try to make it so we don't have to take that option.
Let's fight like hell. Just save the world if you've got to, Mike.
All right.
You're my friend. You took me in when I needed support. You taught me when I needed teaching. And I'm so grateful. And I hope you'll let me continue to learn.
Of course, you're a good friend. You've turned into a great man.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being who you are and doing what you do.
Yeah, we can do this. Let's get the group back together. I have a plan.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, folks. We've got multiple goals here, and they align. We need to reclaim the text that they stole that described the magical methodologies they used to bring their sick plan into being so we can poke holes in it. And we need to take care of the magic users who might stand against us, but who would also be apt targets for the Plague Bearer's magic vampirism. Luckily, those two things seem to come one and the same. We hunt them down, we take them off the board, we take their texts, and we figure out some way to throw this stuff back in Jason's face. Any objections?
None.
I'm wondering if we should also try to lure the plague bearer to where we can capture it and hide it. Is that?
I think that offers intriguing possibilities, but man, would we need some stronger space than this. Don't get me wrong; it's a well-made circle, a well-made energy cage, but whew, I think we'd want to go overkill on that.
I'm gonna talk to some people I know, see if they can start working on that, so we put that plan in motion eventually too.
Yeah, I don't think it's the sort of fella that you can blow the back of its head out with a sniper round from the forest.
No, it's well, here's a pretty good concept to introduce y'all to. We are our magic. Beings who exist on matters of eldritch intent are bigger than just flesh and blood. We're concepts. We're beings. There's a poetry to it. We can't be exterminated by weapons, but if you can exterminate what we are, which is magic, will, intent, well, you might just find a way to make us permanent. And permanence can be wiped off the board. It's impermanence you got to watch out for.
You don't bloody gotta tell me that.
I think we can find a way to kill it. Turns out, the one good thing Jason's proved over the last couple of years is that pretty much anything can be killed. Given the right weapon, given the time, given the power, and given the commitment. There's something else that I feel like I should warn you a lot about before we begin this this situation, before I defer to how you want to handle it.
You've done eldritch gods, you've done mad mages, you've done the world is going to break apart and probably the multiverse is going to shatter. There's more?
Just something I want to put in the back of your head. If you succeed, if we succeed, and take this threat off the board, think about what comes next, because it's not going to be normalcy. All right, Lot. Let's hunt some spellcasters, shall we? And that's a break.
Woo!
Right.
Oof.
Oh,
You doing okay over there?
stressed always.
Listless.
Oh man.
All right, good
So
stuff.
I'll pop everybody out. We usually take a break at this moment and go over stuff that we're working on. And I have to remember which order I was going in.
Hello,
For
it's me.
So is Elle first.
I got you. I'm here.
I'm over here
Hello.
in head having an existential crisis. So
There's so much going on all the time. I mean, it would just be nice if once Edith could just study. That's all I want for her.
oh boy.
Oh man. Okay, so there's so much going on. If you guys haven't heard of us yet, we are the Uncanny Pros, and we do have a really exciting little shop called Uncanny Creations. UncannyCreations.art, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. It's a super exciting shop. We've got all sorts of really cool merchandise with new stuff coming every week. I know that we have two new designs on the way. Did we get them up or are they on the way?
I did not get them.
I think they're on the way, but they're super exciting. For some of you, you'll remember the Holy Super Soakers team. We have a sticker coming for that. And the gremlin is on his way, and it's going to be very cute. Plus a whole bunch of Felton University stuff, so we're very excited. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, go to uncannycreations.art, and you will find all of it there. Let's see, what other announcements do we have? Chloe, do you have a Read Watch Vent this month?
We do. We have it actually next week, and it 100% fits in with all the themes that we're talking about right now. We're reading Annihilation, watching Annihilation, which is a movie with Keira Knightley. It won a couple of Academy Awards. It's a super weird, super trippy, dark science fiction movie about aliens, but they might be magic.
Magic aliens.
Yeah. I mean, when you get right down to it, what is the functional difference?
I mean, it's all just foreign, not technology, but
Body?
science.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's cool. It's actually kind of what DM and I, when we were like years ago, as we were starting with this world that we were creating, it's part of what we've thought of as like basis for a lot of the stuff that we were doing with the Fae. So
Yay.
it's kind of it's a really cool book. If you want to be in on that discussion, we do that the last Thursday of the month. Right here on the channel at 8. Unless me or Erin, my lovely co-host, has a show, which occasionally happens. So you might see us pop up around lunchtime because that's the alternative time that we do it.
Right, but if you subscribe to the Twitch channel, you'll always know.
Exactly. And you can catch all the reruns on our Facebook page, which is Uncanny Pros. And you can also find it on the YouTube channel, which is the Society of Uncanny Pros.
Yay!
Because we did that before we got a shorter name.
Right. Let's see. I think the only other announcement I have besides that I'm working with Will on a project, but he'll talk about that, is if you haven't checked it out yet, I have a little shop called Faithfully L. I'll send a little link of it to the chat. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, I make stickers. Like these are the 10 tarot card stickers. I'm like, they're so pretty. My new favorite one, I just got it in the new set, and of course it'll be the last one I pull. The Emperor, I won't shut up about it, and everyone's like, okay, we get it, you did the Emperor, but it's my favorite one right now. I also do like quote stickers and D&D based stickers, like this is the castle. We just did a restock. And then, I mean, coming soon to the Uncanny Pro Shop, I'll just like flash sneak peeks, are some old favorites. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, feel free to. I think there's even a code, which I will look up while I'm on my break, and I will post it in the chat for a small discount for you Uncanny Pros people. I think that's all I have, and I will let Will discuss his super cool thing.
Cool. Well, next up is Bill. And there we go.
And I'm live. So I have a recently launched business making RPG supplements, and something I'm working on with L right now is like a deck of many things supplement, and we're going to be able to you'll be able to actually buy the deck with all these weird new cards that L is illustrating and doing a magnificent job of. And there's a website we have. It's linked to on the bios, right?
It's linked in the bios. If you're watching us on Twitch, we all have bios underneath, and you can click on our name, and it will take you to the website or our social media for whatever we're working on. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, just come over and find us on Twitch.
Yeah.
We're Uncanny Pros.
It's otpgames.com. And now it actually looks like it was made by a grown-up, not a terribly talented grown-up, but I've made some improvements, and the website looks, reasonably decent. So, but there's links to all kinds of stuff on there, and no products yet, but it's close. Waiting on one last piece of artwork, and then have a book published very soon. So close.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yes, and there's another one in the pipe as soon as that one's done. So, hopefully, the next couple months will be books galore, but we'll see. But one book coming very soon, and then the deck that Elle's helping me work on. She's like, the process is I give her a few cards. So I've given her, all the description and everything, but then we pick a few cards to work on. I tell her what my ideas are. She comes out with something completely different, and most of the time I'm like, that's way better than what I had. And so,
yeah,
it works. It's working pretty well.
She's good like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, next up is Dan.
Hello.
There we
Hello.
go.
Oh, I'm blurry again. Hold on.
There we go.
Magic spell.
Blurry del Diablo.
Indeed. Oh, I'm Blurry del Diablo. Yes, that is the name of my podcast, almost. It is actually Ombligo del Diablo, which has new episodes, new dark adventures of Doom. Everybody bother Sam in the chat all about them. Ask too many questions. Just drive her up a wall. I'm sure to be great. And also remind me to finish re-recording some lines for it. It is a Mage the Ascension 5th edition actual play podcast. You can find it anywhere that podcasts exist. There's a neat Discord out for it you could even find that people do things in, and it's neat. I see the wristwatch tapping. It's fine. It's fine. I'll do it. Promise. If you would like to find our anchor, you can find that in our Twitch stream by clicking down on my name in the thingamajigger. And it's a heavy one out there for you folks who like dark
Who like
horror.
light fare like this, where we discuss the end of the world.
Indeed. I'd say that we've hit similar levels of darkness. That one just tends to have a more oppressive tone, I would say. Whereas we're a bit quippier here. But yeah, come one, come all, cry tears with us, drink the delicious pain, and listen to Obligo del Diablo. Enjoy yourself. As long as you are a mature person who is not easily offended by nonsense.
Nice. Well, I think we have everybody just about back. While Elle's getting back, we should all hop on and discuss. What are you watching? What suggestions do you have for a lovely audience?
Ooh, what am I watching? Currently, I'm on an anime called Komi Can't Communicate, which is about a young woman with extremely severe social anxiety, and it's adorable. And it's like a comedy drama type thing. It is.
You're
It's-
like John Ralphio reviewing an anime like woman, social anxiety, crippling doubt, mental illness, adorable.
It's so cute. It's edited like in this really frenetic style. It's almost like Scott Pilgrim-y with video game references and stuff
I
in
do
some
love
ways.
that.
Yeah, it's and when they go for the prettiness, it is very much that. It's real neat. Came out like 2 years ago on Netflix. I'm digging into it now. If you dig anime, can recommend.
Perhaps my dad is very into it.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a real neat show that will give you feels. No, Sam? What's wrong with
As
you?
That is a good recommendation because I'd honestly never heard of it, and I like that. I like things
Yeah.
that I would not have otherwise found. I don't think.
Yeah, it's not my normal wheelhouse either. I am not normally. I don't seek out intentionally a ton of anime that doesn't involve swords or energy blasts. Oh, double thumbs up on Komi. Sorry, I thought you said thumbs down for a reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Sam,
confused
yeah,
by that
it's
too, but
cute.
I was
I'm
like,
glad
this
that you
is-
like it too. Sorry, I can't read. It's been a day.
It really has been a day.
What have you guys been watching?
I've been checking out that show, Outer Range.
Mm.
The less I say about it, the better, frankly. But that's a trip. I highly recommend it. It's a bit of a brain bender.
Okay.
I went and saw The Northman. That was
I want to see that.
I'm
trippy.
I'm very interested, both as an unreasonably big Bjork fan and as someone who's appreciated.
Sentences again, I've not really ever heard.
I love Bjork so much.
As an
He's
unreasonably big Bjork fan.
Yeah, no, I've wanted to see that very badly as someone who really appreciated both of Egger's previous films. I especially loved The Lighthouse.
I have heard it is a trip and a half. Like all my friends who have seen it have said that they're only that they saw it too sober.
Adapted from the same myth that Shakespeare was adapting for Hamlet.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
That is just something. It's man, for me, movies are an energy thing. Like I know I have to take 3.5 hours out of my day to go do it. I never regret it, but the act of summoning the willpower to go do it has been a problem.
I've literally tried to get him to go see The Norseman like 4 times now.
Just get on Flixer or whatever and buy the tickets and get in the car and just show up. Hey, go to the
Oh,
movies.
we live right next door to a movie theater. It could be across the street.
I need to work on having the desire to go to films by myself. It's such a powerful social experience for me that I always want to have people along, but it is hard to wrangle people when most of the movies that I want to go out and see are weirdo art house junk.
That's fair.
Oh, Aloof Puppet, we're all waiting for Jurassic World.
I mean,
it's news to me.
I'm just gonna keep
Lord of
watching.
the Rings fan talks about it at least once a day.
Okay.
It switched over after we saw Multiverse of Madness, and now it's just Jurassic.
That one I'm
Park.
still excited to see. That one I'm still excited
Oh,
to
it's
see.
so good.
Not such a big Jurassic World fan, but I love Sam Raimi.
Yeah, it was very Sam Raimi.
You guys are
It
It was not very Sam Raimi.
It was very Sam
Heard
Raimi.
there's some
You
Evil
could- you
Dead
could-
stuff in
a
there.
little bit, but it wasn't like
It was
just
half
totally-
Sam
totally
Raimi,
Sam.
half Scott Derrickson, which made it awkward.
Is
I thought
there
it
is there
funny.
Boomstick though?
No.
There's
Ash,
Boomstick's
Ash
real
No,
appears, of
don't
course.
spoil anything. We
Well,
have
Ash,
people
it's
who
the
haven't
Sam
seen
Raimi
it.
movies. There's Ash on there always. Ash is in every Sam Raimi movies.
That's true.
I kind of want to watch the original Jurassic Park again now, very badly.
oh,
They
it
should-
holds up real well.
They
You
should
can see in the
reboot.
comments, I was literally just signed up for another full rewatch.
Sam Raimi should reboot Evil Dead as the musical.
Again,
I love Evil Dead the musical.
Just a hill I'm gonna die on. Like, just make people think they're coming to Evil Dead, market it like Evil Dead the remake, and then they sit down and it starts Cabin in the Woods. Ooh.
Wait, hold on. Market it like Evil Dead the remake from several years ago, the really super violent one.
Not the
Yeah.
be like we remade it with the original tone, and they sit down and then they
Okay.
get the musical.
All right, yeah, that that
that's how you get
Fede
people to walk
Alvarez
out of a
Evil
movie
Dead.
theater, DM.
What's that?
That's how you get people to walk out of a movie theater.
Good.
You sell them on a horror movie, and then you're like, "Silly musical."
You're
No,
talking.
they're gonna be mad at you.
You're talking to several people who came up through a musical theater a bit.
Good.
I love musicals.
Bad.
I also
Yeah.
love scary movies. I would not be mad about it, but most of the
Cabin
people.
But some people, yeah, I would actually be more excited if I sat down and music started playing and people started singing. I'd be like, oh, thank God.
Students on our way to an
All right.
Cabin in the
Hold on. I'm
Woods.
muting everybody because we're
Oh, yeah.
restarting.
Okay.
This break went off the rails. I take responsibility for that.
I understand.
That's great. All right, folks, we got a plan of attack to make. Everybody, tell me what you're doing.
I propose, Rose and Edith, you two get on the interwebs, see if you can track down this Fred Power guy, see what you can find out about him.
Okay.
Rory, see what you can do about some sort of magical means of tracking him down.
Easier if I'm close, but
I,
that
yeah,
was
what,
a
it's
shot.
not only find out about him, but make sure he doesn't know you're trying to find out about him.
Ooh, now that's
That's a trick.
harder.
If it takes
We
some
got
time,
a few days, you think?
Rory, is your
What?
coin normal?
Check my pocket. Does it look normal?
Looks more or less normal, yeah.
Seemingly. Why do you ask?
Because he had it.
Oh, well, see, you remember that thing I did where I put a tracker on it? It's still here.
It's the same.
I mean, I don't believe that Jason is incapable of duplicating my spell. He did have the coin. But also I did see that shade of myself pop back into it. So he did not only have to duplicate the coin, but also the half me that's in it. And he'd have to duplicate the spell without any of us noticing. And then pull the old switcheroo. So if he
People
did
godly
BS his way through it, it's quite a task.
Rory, would it be easier for you to craft a spell that Fred can't notice you're using if the girls get you some more information on them?
Oh, certainly. Always easier. And if that's going to take some time, if we have a while to work on this, yeah, I can start getting it set up.
All right. I'm going to go get us some pizza. Compliments of Allegra.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only
I wanna-
fair.
I'm gonna leave Rose actually and just hop in the car with Mike.
All right.
Right,
Don't forget
sounds good.
sodas.
I'll start. I'll start cracking books, working on some big magic-y type stealthy scry.
There should be some drinks in the fridge.
There
What
are.
sort of drinks?
This is such a dad conversation. Bring back soda.
Wait,
It's on
Well-
a murderer's dime.
It's bad for you.
oh, that's true. I got like $300 here. Why don't you make it like a good scotch?
one of them ones what don't just taste like burning.
Wait, one of them-
Dad
one of
argument,
them-
like we have sodas at home.
One of them $300 type scotches.
No, I mean get Coke and Dr. Pepper, Dad, not the generic brand stuff from the grocery store.
No,
It doesn't taste as good.
there is a kitchen with a fridge that has sodas in it. And stuff. And some beers.
There
And there's a liquor cabinet too.
You know what you could get is you could get some of that fried dough with the cinnamon on it and the frosting. I'm just
You
saying.
could bring back dessert. That'd be nice.
Rory strikes me as a cherry 7-Up guy.
Absolutely.
Not a Code Red, not a Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh,
Oh, I mean, it's fine if you got it around, but
I'll take it.
He's
It's
like a connoisseur of sorts.
it just sort of tastes like syrup after like the third one. And
I can
when you're
totally
up working
see
on
him.
magic circles, you have more than 3.
I could totally see him being the type of guy like, 2022, good year.
Fair enough.
It's driving me mad with that intoxicating cranberry bouquet.
Lord. Tom, let's go do research. We're not getting more soda.
Cool. I was actually hoping you could show me how you do that.
I sure could.
I
Wait,
made a
hold
Facebook
on,
page
hold
like
on.
you asked me to, but I don't even have a picture on it.
Tom,
I'll help.
are you saying
I
you
got
s-
you.
are you saying you still understand all of these infinite possibilities about the multiverse? You've gotten so much of your memory back. You can comprehend the fate of all things big and small, and you don't know how to do a bloody Google?
I mean, the internet is. You've read your mythology. The internet is not something any higher being ever considered. That's a purely human creation. Computers that talk to each other. Folks, do you realize the magic of basically taking a rock, which is what a silicon computer chip is, and teaching it to think is? You call us insane.
Listen,
All right,
I don't
well-
know anything about the mumbo jumbo that comes out of your guys' mouth on a daily basis. If I can teach him how to use Facebook, let me have this.
All right, just one bit of advice. It might sound fun, but if you look up naked pictures of people on it, you're never going to leave it alone again. It'll eat up all your time.
You can do
Promise
Like,
it.
he's not
hold
gonna
off.
look up naked pictures of people. That's
You
not
can
an
do-
activity.
I'm
we're
telling
teaching
him not to.
You can
I'm
do
on
that.
your side.
Thomas, do you want to?
No, I mean, no. I just find the concept to be fascinating. You
Rory?
humans, you entertain yourself in the most interesting of ways.
Oi, with
Yeah, I'm
naked people.
finding humans. That's the problem.
All right,
You see-
have fun.
One of the first things I thought was that clothing should be optional. Apparently, more people agree with me than I thought did, and that's just comforting.
So you wanted to put a picture on your Facebook?
I did. I like how anytime you do anything with this, you find people and you find information. And when I tried to do something with it, I just got added as a friend by a bunch of ladies I think are from Russia.
Yeah. So you got botted, and she's gonna just like start a whole new profile for him.
Yes.
She's like, it doesn't matter. That old one, it's gone now.
So you
And
mean 70 women named Irina don't want to be my friend?
no, well, they want something from you, but it's not friendship. And
Fair figures.
she'll set to work making him a profile.
It's an unsafe world. You can't trust anybody. It's a shit situation with shit people.
She's like, okay, now that you have this, you can start looking up other people. So the gentleman's name,
Fred Power.
and she'll start searching for that specifically, but then start going through all sorts of like friend weaves from the fake Allegra profile.
You find pretty quickly that he doesn't really have a social media presence, but roll to investigate a mystery.
Yay! something I'm actually good at, I think.
Yes.
You know, it would always help if I were to pull up the character sheet before this game started instead of always what I do. Oh my god, but I rolled double sixes.
Yeah. So you get
I want to
you
say
get
that's like
whatever
a
you want.
15 for me, but I'm
Yeah,
pulling it up
no,
right now.
success. So you're not able to. That's yeah, you got it. You're not able to find any social media presence, but you are able to track down a lot of people who have evidently like had him in classes. You find some like ancient statuses of people who have bitched about him and complained for classes back when this technology was new, nearly 2 decades ago. You find a couple of Rate My Professor pages off of that. And from there, it's not hard to sort of loop back around and start like finding articles he's published. His CV is not what one would call public, but it's not exactly that hard to find once you have access to his writings, his career. You even find a couple of YouTube clips of media appearances. Like you turn up a whole mess of stuff.
Can I find where he works now?
You find very, very readily that he doesn't have a home base, a place where he has tenure. Not anymore. He used to teach at some West Coast Ivy League school like 20 years ago and ended up getting fired for cause that was not publicly disclosed. But now does a tour around the country as a extremely influential history lecturer. He's an expert in borderline everything, but his writings, his study, and most of the classes he guest teaches and the subjects he gives lectures on are on history of the occult and the evolution of occultism, certain spiritual traditions, etc., over the course of the recent centuries. And he has written a couple of really influential books and given a couple really influential talks, like dispelling myths around like the Golden Dawn and tarot and Victorian occultist societies and stuff like that, and has actually been to Felton very recently.
I was going to say, is he supposed to be back at Felton anytime soon?
He was just here. It was the final stop on a lecture tour that looked like it had like 50 stops and happened like over the course of more than a calendar year. This is his final stop. He was only scheduled to stay here for a week. He ended up staying a second week and giving a second week of appearances. And then he just sort of seems to disappear. Right around the time the stuff on the island started kicking up.
Naturally. Okay. So something I would be curious about then is Felton obviously has a very specific reputation for its studies. In
Yes, it
terms
does.
of that circuit, would one of the professors at the school have been in charge of that? It's like booking him, getting him to stay, getting him to speak.
You would know that just know this, but also because you rolled really high, that the people responsible for booking lectures in general, like broadly, are typically some arm of university marketing and PR. But in terms of booking lectures and classes specifically for departments, either to be hosted as department events or to further academic study, to be a seminar for specific students, or to give a short like 301 or 401, that's chair of the department stuff.
Okay. So probably Miss Merriweather. Okay. Last question
Sure.
would be the student list on who went to that lecture. Would I be able to get access to that?
There would not be an official list, but with your social media foo, you are not able to probably like come up with a definitive, like these are the people
Who were
whose
there, yeah.
butts were in seats, and no one else. But you are able through Twitter posts and social media posts and check-ins and all the various ways that kids these days are terminally online. You're able to beef out a pretty respectable roster, actually. You just have no guarantee that it's complete.
That they're actually, yeah. Okay. Cool.
And you know that Felton lecture halls can seat anywhere from 60 to 100 people. So when you can put together like 40 names you are pretty sure went,
Yeah.
you're not doing so bad.
Just to cover bases, anyone of note that Rose would find particularly like, oh, they were there.
Yeah, in fact. Edith.
Cool. I'm sure Edith doesn't remember that, but I'll check in with her.
Almost certainly not.
Dang it. I was worried that we would see one of us there. Okay, so then on the vein of trying to find him now, she would probably try to look at his. So this isn't the first circuit he's ever been on.
No, he has been a traveling lecturer since he lost tenure and was fired from the East Coast like 15 years ago.
Okay. She would probably go back to the previous year when the circuit would have ended to try to see kind of where the circuit typically starts and where it typically ends. So if she can see if she can kind of find somewhere in the middle that would make sense.
You notice and are able to put together that he typically starts from somewhere in New York. It's usually a different New York university each year, but he typically starts there and he makes his way through major hubs. So he bounces down to the DC and Richmond, Virginia area, comes back down through Florida, usually some major Florida university like University of Florida or FSU, pops up into the genteel southern universities like Vanderbilt, moves over into Denver, goes through Las Vegas, hits California for SoCal and then NorCal, loops all the way up the coast, and for something like 10 years in a row, he ends right here and has taught more classes, more guest classes at Felton University than anywhere else, and it's not even particularly close.
Okay, so she's gonna, for her, that would mean he has to live close because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I know magic exists, but I think for at least Rose, she's like, well, he'd have to live close because no one wants to drive that far. So she would start looking up for any aliases, anyone who's got a weird mansion up in the hills, trying to find anybody of similar note to him.
You can also reasonably infer that he's got close ties with this university, with this college, based on the obvious close relationship.
Thinking she should call someone.
It would probably be worth it, and you rolled so well I can give you this insight. It would probably be worth it to explore university housing, especially if he was just here.
Oh, I do love that plan. She will actually start digging through university housing, and then probably when Edith gets back, she'll have more to do.
Yep, right on. And I can tell you right now that you know that there is a block of professor guest housing. It was very posh, very Ivy League sort of tradition that this dude almost certainly partook in.
Cool. Awesome. Well, she'll share her findings with the team.
You do not live far from that block of housing. Not far at all. Couple blocks.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, yay. I think when Edith gets back, then she'll have more to say.
All right. Let's check in with Edith and Mike.
Sorry, my thing takes a second. DM, since Thomas isn't here, do you want to be popped out for a second?
Sure.
Okay.
We're gonna drive by the supermarket first, pick up some sodas. Then we'll go pick up pizza.
Edith's pretty quiet until we're on our way to the pizza. We're gonna die, aren't we, Mike?
Well, eventually, yeah. Everybody
No, I
does.
mean, like imminently.
I don't know that for sure, but it's certainly a possibility. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow. What?
Statistically speaking, that's not going to happen, though. And I'm sorry. I can't talk to Rose about this because I don't want her to be worried, and I can't. Rory is a magical being that is immortal, basically, and apparently Thomas is a demigod, but you have been to war. How do you do this?
I have faith in God. I know when I die where I'm going, and I know I'm going to die at some point. We all are. I mean, you're still young. Maybe you never had to deal with your own mortality, but I've faced mine plenty of times. He's just every day is a gift from God. Just make the most of it.
These are terrible days. These are not good gifts. These are awful, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad. I would like to return them and complain to the manager. Awful gifts.
There's some satisfaction. We killed that terrible wizard. Didn't that satisfy us? I know it was a surprise to you, but was it at least satisfying? We took her off the board.
I mean, kind of, but I sort of just want to have a normal life. And I would like to not die. And I would like to not watch Rose die. And I would like for Rory to not be like the slave to some nefarious being or wizard.
Well, if it helps, you can just do what you can to fix all that. Starting off by, destroying this plague carrier and killing Jason, and then we can work on freeing Rory.
Mike, we haven't actually beat anything we've come up against.
Allegra might disagree.
I think we were lucky.
No, that was part of my plan. Look, I've done this a lot. I've fought things that will make your skin crawl. I've come through. Just have a little faith. And you might die tomorrow. Just live every day like that. There's no guarantee in life. You can be pretty sure Rory's going to live us all. Even if we all live to be 100 years old, he'll still die well after us.
Unless some Fey Lord gets him and takes him to the other realms and he gets pulled into some trans-dimensional wormhole and ends up among the Eldritch Gods.
Or we don't stop Jason's plan and all kinds of terrible things happen. So let's just focus on what we can control.
Doesn't feel like we can control a lot.
Well, right now we can try to find Fred Powers, take him alive if we can, get all the information we can out of him, kill him, then move on to our next target.
Can we stop and get coffee on the way home?
I got a coffee pot in the kitchen.
Can we get not coffee pot coffee?
Sure.
I'm having an existential crisis, Mike.
All right. I'm not really I don't really like the drive-through coffee place, but sure, whatever.
Thanks.
Allegra's paying for it anyways.
That's all Edith needs to say. We're gonna die.
That's fine. Let's check in with Rory.
All right.
All right, man. What are you looking to do?
What I am looking to do, first of all, is use my magic powers to correct my blurriness. Done. Spell cast.
Zim zim zalabim.
Indeed. Yeah. I crack my knuckles, am happy for the distraction from all of these feelings I have, and get to work on magic. I am looking.
emotions. My emotions.
I'm a monster. Anyway,
Right on. So, what kind of spell are you looking to cast, and how are you looking to cast it?
firstly, I would like to take. I would like to take my time on this, and since I do not have information necessary to direct the actual scrying yet, I am going to work on firstly layering things so that whatever I do cast is as stealthy as I can get it.
Absolutely. You're looking to take your time and put in enough effort to make sure that you get both your result and that you get it undetected.
Yes, yes. So undetected is what we're working on until results are brought back from the querying of others.
All right. So start out. We're gonna do a combo roll then. First,
All right.
roll weird on the magic.
All right. 3, 4. That's 8.
All right. Now roll sharp for the stealth component.
Okay. Better. 10.
All right. So you can be pretty confident that the spell you're going to cast isn't going to reveal your identity, but you're a little bit more iffy on whether or not you're going to be able to conceal that it's happening at all.
Okay. Is that the best I think I am going to get it, or if we took more time with it, could I improve upon that?
Roll another weird.
Oh, great. 12.
You can probably make it even more sort of ephemeral and loose as far as what is going on. But part of the problem you're interacting with is defenses. As you
Yeah.
start trying to gather the spell together and you're doing it with the intention of affixing it to a specific being, you're getting the sensation from afar that you're running up against wards he has put into place to avoid just this.
I think that Rory, upon realizing he's running into a preemptive countermeasure, almost like grins to himself at the challenge of chess matching another skilled mage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you bloody bastard. Okay. Okay. We can't unravel you from here unless we get a better idea. And you're gonna know that something's up. What if we give you a better worm to latch on to? Okay, so if the best I'm going to be able to get it over the coming days is something weird's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I want to give him something more weird that is going on.
Okay.
I,
What are you gonna do?
I would like to. I think that I would like to. From my knowledge of mystical creatures and my ability to speak in their tongues,
Mm-hmm.
that I have possessed over time, at least, I don't currently have that.
That knowledge is not like a supernatural power. It's endemic to your being and to your
Okay.
experience. So you can still
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Are there any that I know of that would likely be particularly resistant to the magecraft that this person possesses, to my knowledge, or like things that could be summoned or bargained with that might give him fits without necessarily being like, I don't know, something that would attack him. Basically, what I'm picturing is like a fairy or something that's not going to get hurt, but just be around, cause a nuisance.
Roll sharp.
That's not my best one, but I rolled okay. 6.
I mean, in terms of talking about possible things that might throw a mage off, or at least know how to throw a mage off, you're hanging out with one.
Okay, but that's not good because we don't want him on the hook. That's too big a bite. All right.
Do you want to call him over or keep thinking?
Okay, another thing I could do. Perhaps I would like my scrying spell to coincide with something that might seem like an obvious attack on one of his holdings, something that would be likely to trigger another defense mechanism. Like, if I can maybe pierce into his business or like another location with an obvious, more clumsy scrying attempt. Maybe that can explain the feeling eating in the back of his mind.
You can absolutely try to sort of carpet bomb his attention span.
Yeah.
There is also, I will say there's a benefit to possibly asking your team some of these questions.
Okay. Fair enough. Tom.
Yeah.
I don't suppose in all of your gallivanting about existence and whatnot, you might know something that could provide a suitable distraction for our pal here. What I'm running into is he's already got countermeasures up. He's going to know something's going on no matter how good my spell is. He'll be able to tell there's an itch on the back of his neck. I want to find a way to trigger that in a more obvious way so that...
Like a good old-fashioned diversion.
Something that explains the worries that he's having so that he doesn't think, someone's peering in on me and spying. His attention is directed elsewhere.
I mean, gallivanting through existence doesn't even have to give me the best idea. My recent existence gives me the best idea. Hey, Rose.
Yes?
Hey, you remember when we were out to dinner?
Mm-hmm.
That freaking annoying gremlin?
Yeah, he was really cute.
Was it possible to focus on literally anything else when he wasn't up to his shenanigans, literally trying to burn the restaurant to the ground?
Oh God, no. The entire time you were trying to talk that cook off the ledge, all I was trying to do was make sure they didn't notice the trash can moving.
Yeah, like a literal walking manifestation of pure chaos. I vote send a gremlin at him.
All right.
It's terribly distracting.
Do you think we could get our hands on one?
Oh, I'm sure if we just offered him any kind of snack, he would do it.
I mean, yeah, we know how to get our hands on one. I'm a little terrified.
No, we know where to find them. They're with her.
Yup. Yeah, we can go get one for that purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd first have to establish where this fella is. We'd have to get a gremlin. We got to send the gremlin at him. And then I think that I can hook things up to keep a spy on him for at least a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. Thomas and I could probably get you a gremlin fairly simply.
Nurari, you put one of these things on this guy's front lawn, it'll ruin his goddamn life.
And
I thought he helped our date. It was fun.
Oh, it was fun. Just imagine having one of those things in your walls, in your home.
No, right. Definitely I wasn't thinking about making one a pet, so...
Yeah, 24/7. They're just little agents of chaos. They exist to do two things, eat and screw stuff up.
I'll admit, I hadn't actually spent a whole lot of time interacting with them, but they did harass Captain Kirk something fierce, and also I saw this other movie where you're not supposed to feed the bastards.
Yeah, that
mean-
really messed me up as a kid.
Not feeding them turns out it's a pretty good idea, if only because they're insatiable. And if you feed them one time, they're going to want you to feed them again and again and again and again and again.
Oh, maybe best option, we find out where this mage's fridge is then.
I don't
love
think you
this
even have to find the fridge. They'll just eat anything.
I love this plan. I wouldn't inflict that little bugger on my worst enemy. I love the idea. This is cosmic justice.
Well, Thomas and I will get you a gremlin then, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, but first the research, because we don't want to have a gremlin on our hands before we have a
Oh
place to
no,
put
I'm
it.
like basically done. I'm pretty sure he's in teacher housing, or at least
Okay.
he does stay there occasionally.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
she's a magician with this internet thing. It's wild.
Just followed his Facebook trends.
Perfect.
You went to like 1,000 websites that weren't Facebook.
Yeah, they're all websites though that link back.
I mean, we need to tell Rory about that website where you get to go on and write really mean reviews about professors.
I
feel
don't think
it's a
Rory
site that he
needs
would
to know
like.
about that. I didn't, we didn't mention it before, probably for good reason. I think
All right.
Rory might hurt their feelings.
Well, some of them deserve to have their feelings hurt, Rose.
You can
None of them deserve their feelings hurt.
on the internet. It's glorious. You can review anything on the internet.
Thomas?
Restaurants, clothes, products, video games, professors,
Coffee?
coffee. Let's go, Rose. Let's go get the avatar of human suffering and go bring it and inflict it upon our wizarding enemies.
Yeah, right now?
Well,
Okay.
I'm working on the other part of the spell, so it's fine.
No, let's
Sure,
go.
sure.
And she like grabs his hand. She's already pulling Uber up.
And as Rory stumbles his way into Yelp to try and find his favorite coffee place and leave a bunch of different 5-star reviews under different names, but all of them say something along the lines of "Ask for the pink one; it tastes real good."
Oh my god, he drinks the pink drink, and that's my favorite thing.
Yes, it's
like I am into cotton candy.
It's perfect.
very
What
much
is
is.
this? I
Literally
can
the
totally
drink I order everywhere I go, so there's zero judgment.
I mean,
totally see that.
Anything that it comes in a pink can is good.
Rory's like
You and I are best friends, soulmates. I just want you to know that.
Rory's like, what is this beverage? What is this flavor? And how can I make my life about it?
It's pink and it's perfect.
Exactly.
Cotton candy, you say?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, spun sugar, eh? No, right on. So as we go out and try to fetch this beastly little creature, Edith and Michael, you would be probably arriving back if all you were doing is picking up drinks and food.
Pizza's here.
Oi,
And Coke and coffee.
bloody good.
Did they catch us before we disappeared?
Let's say that we ran into him coming out the door.
Oh, do we want to stay for dinner though?
You know, I feel like we should eat before we introduce one of those things into the equation on account of I'm hungry.
I think so too.
One of
Wait.
what things?
Yeah,
We're going to go get a gremlin.
Yeah, we're gonna catch a gremlin for Rory
They're gonna get a gremlin.
Wait,
Why
what?
are you getting a gremlin?
because he wants to distract Fred.
Oh, get several.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna take snacks and they'll probably follow us home.
I
So
think
be
we
ready
should
for
carpet bomb this dude with gremlins.
Don't bring them
Did we
here.
locate him already?
them. Oh, where do we take him? Oh, well, no, yeah, actually, he's at the teacher. Well, he probably has a place in teacher housing. You know where they stick all the guest stars whenever they come to talk? He's here pretty periodically all the time. So he probably has a permanent place there.
All right.
You think you can hack in the university cameras around the area and see if we can get some footage of him at some point? Make sure he's there.
I can try.
Rose, you can hack things?
No, but I'll give it a shot.
I'm
Roast
assuming Michael's done a little bit of hacking into.
Roast is like black hat acting. Wow, how hard can this be?
Rose is like, I'm sure it'll be fine. You know, I
What's
stalked him on
great is
Facebook, which definitely gives me police access.
I want
I
this
have
to happen just so you can roll like a 5 and be like, guys, I'm in the Pentagon and I didn't turn on my VPN.
I'm just saying, you know, I saw several late 90s, early 2000s thrillers. I think I understand the concept.
Right, you go into the firewall and you touch the motherboard, and then you're in.
You have another screen that's flipping through a bunch of different numbers very quickly.
Oh, I can do that on YouTube.
Oh,
Oh my
All
god.
right. So we're gonna sit down to some dinner before we bring these plans to fruition. But
what sort of pizza did you get?
Yeah.
We got plain pepperoni for everyone who wants that. Plain cheese. Got a Hawaiian and deluxe without any black olives because black olives are gross.
Under the Hawaiian, that's the one with the pig, right?
Yeah, pineapple and Canadian bacon.
I like pig.
Technically, all of them have pig on them.
Yeah.
Oh
Not
yeah,
the plain
there's
cheese.
spicy pig and salty pig.
I just love all this stuff. Everything that I experience here is, well, not everything. The majority of what I experience here is just so great.
Well,
I
then you have to
will
try
say-
Dr. Pepper, and she'll go grab several.
See, Edith, that's the right attitude. Just enjoy the good times.
He's a demigod that can't be killed.
And he's also never had pepperoni pizza.
I haven't. I've never had pizza at all, or with friends.
Oh my god. You haven't actually lived then. That's like one of the first things I did since I woke up in, you know, since the invention of pizza.
All right. Let's see here. He takes a bite from the wrong end, but it's a pretty big bite, so he gets the good stuff. Oh my gosh.
You know, people keep talking about it like it was better when them Italians made it, but it's like real small. Doesn't have half as much cheese on it. They put so much cheese on these ones.
You take the bread,
Mm-hmm.
you add the sauce, and then you add the cheese, and then you add a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's even good if you don't add other stuff.
I mean, you would think all that flavors in your mouth would distract, but it's like the symphony of, my God. That's why those boys across the street, rest their soul, were eating this all the time.
I literally have never cast a spell that was half as genius as this.
Rose will get Edith a drink, whatever she thinks Edith drinks the most.
This is quintessential American cuisine, Rory. You take something foreign, like say the hamburger, you know, some ground meat between two buns, put some cheese, bacon, tomatoes, onions. There, fixed it for you. That's what we do.
I think that we should try putting a lot more cheese on haggis.
Or we could skip haggis.
Some things can't really be fixed.
What, you never had a good one.
So there's so many foods we can try. I'm sure we'll get to haggis someday.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is always going to be worth saving. Good food, good people. Thank you guys thank you again for saving me, but thank you for not rejecting me. Thank you for letting me in.
You're welcome. You gonna finish that piece?
Yeah, actually,
Mike,
There
there's
are
a lot
5
of pizza.
pizzas here.
in fact, if we're already running low on them, I will fight
big
someone
guy.
for the last one. That's good
Like,
stuff.
my God, and she starts pulling up a pizza app.
We're hungry. I mean, when you come right down and think about it, I haven't eaten in days, and you guys, I don't think, have either. So,
I don't think so.
That's true.
Sure.
Didn't my stomach empty when I was a bloody disembodied spirit? I don't even know.
I know
Did-
that anything really worked the way it's supposed to when we were disembodied spirits.
Was all the stuff that I put in there before still slushing around in my guts, though? Did it rematerialize when I came back?
These are the
This is
fascinating-
so not a dinner discussion.
These are fascinating questions. These are the hard questions.
I mean,
Are
really,
these the
it
questions?
maybe it explains why teleportation is such a tricky spell to pull off.
What
We
was
just
that
haven't done
again?
the calculations for the stomach stuff.
What'd
All
you
right,
say,
folks. After an evening of fun and merriment, and you start to wander, get the feeling that the evening's winding down, but a plan of attack, a plan of action is beginning to formulate. We have time for one last important conversation.
I do have an idea for that, if you're cool with it.
Yep.
Okay, take it away, man.
At a certain point in the dinner, after all of the excitement of everything fades, Rory would get like a little bit quieter and more contemplative after a while. Question. My understanding of this location was it is much closer to the beach than our residence.
Quite a
Is
bit.
that
Quite
Yeah.
a bit closer. Not
Okay.
close, but quite a bit closer.
Okay. Hey, hey, Mike, would it bother you if I borrow the van for a bit? I know I couldn't drive it. I was thinking maybe Edith and I could talk somewhere. If you're okay with that.
Sure, just be careful with it.
Edith, are you all right with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to talk somewhere for a bit.
Of course.
Hey, Rose, there's some cheesecake in the fridge.
Oh, I popped her. Sorry. Yes. She's celebrating.
Cheesecake.
I'm all about that. Cake.
All
That's
right.
what.
Yeah,
all right.
we step out then.
Hoof. Hoof.
Okay. Yeah, once we get down to it and start driving, Rory would just get kind of quiet and be like, I'm sorry, I know I'm being like kind of weird here. Like, I don't know, it's kind of sudden, but that's sort of the point.
All of this is sudden. And they're pretty sure we're all gonna die, so feeling weird is probably appropriate.
If you wouldn't mind just driving down like a few of those streets over there, I think we should be there in a few minutes.
Yeah.
I felt like doing something spontaneous, something that I didn't have to ask permission for.
That should be how you live your life.
It should be, but you don't get to either, though. I mean, people don't really get to do that. I mean, everything that I've been experiencing, all of these things that I've had to go through, they're awful. I've hated most of it, and I wouldn't wish it on others. I've killed a lot of people, some of them bad and some of them good, and I wouldn't want any of them to have to live like I did, but no one really gets to be free. Everybody has to ask for permission at some point. I think it's just one of those things where you get to really appreciate it on things that normally take a bit of effort or they're easier. And it's been a very, very long time since I went to the beach because I could and not because I had to.
Well, then beach it is.
And whenever we actually get there, he'd probably be quiet walking out to the actual shore. He'd try and find a place that was like pretty empty and didn't have like too many people socializing at it or anything.
Edith will kind of hold back unless he motions her forward.
I think he'd take like a minute and just smell it. He'd kick off his shoes and walk down to like the edge of the water and stuff. Take a deep breath. Edith, I'm going to ask you to do something. And neither one of us are going to like it. I can't let go of me. I can't let go of everything I've been. This time has been really important for me to figure out where my priorities were wrong. And I'm going to have a bunch of different voices in my head after this, telling me a lot of different things. But I'm not going to be the same person I was. I trust you. And I haven't felt that way about anybody in a very long time. The last time I did, it turned out really bad for both of us. And I'm sorry to put that level of pressure on you. You've already got a lot riding on your shoulders. We all do. And I don't want to make you carry me everywhere. And I've thought a lot about what's going to happen because of this choice. Because in all likelihood, even if we win, who knows what happens to Tom if he's able to go through on his deal. If he's able to pull any of it off, or if we're all just going to be stuck in bloody limbo forever, or if you live to be a granny and you're happy and everything's fine for you, and I stick around still looking so bloody pretty as I do, and then you'd be gone, and I'd go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'd never get another shot at being something besides a pawn or a weapon. But I can't give up that big a part of myself. Not even for freedom. I'm going to ask 2 favors of you. I'd like you to carry this weight a bit longer. And
Of course.
And 2, stick around as long as you can. Because I won't be okay when you're not.
Maybe I'll figure out how to have some kids and I could just make it a family thing.
That sounds nice. I'm sure you'd have some lovely kids.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. I'm a right prick anyway. And I'll flip the coin at you.
I'll guard it with my life.
I know.
I think that's a good place to end it for today.
All right. Good stuff.
All right, folks, and now we dive headlong into Act 2, where next time the hunt begins, but some complicating factors present themselves. I will be that vague.
Ba-dum.
No complications.
Yay, we made people cry again. Huzzah!
We did the
You're
thing.
welcome, people.
We did the thing.
Okay, well, thank you for tuning in. We will be back next Tuesday to start the newest chapter. You can catch up on all of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Indeed. Thank you all for tuning in. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're good. Like,
Yeah.
Now
You're adequate.
that after a long multi-month journey, we have set up our characters, set up our world, and set up our story. Tune in next time for some fun and awesome indications of what's to come.
Fabulous.
heck
See
yeah.
everybody later.
See ya.